back to the channel. This time we're going to install a new fuel pump, an upgrade. I got a Edelbrock high performance, high volume fuel pump for the car. This model is good for up to 600 horsepower. This pump is high volume and has a clockable positioning for the inlet and outlets for custom applications. So let's get the old one off and get this one on and see how this all comes together. Okay, so I got the fuel lines disconnected and I've been working the bolts out of the old fuel pump and got it broke loose. And as you can see, it's under pressure from the cam. And what we want to do is relax that pressure so we can put the new one in. And it's going to just make putting the new one easier too. So depending on what size, well, I'm going to need the light on. Depending on what size nut is holding on your harmonic balancer. Mine just happens to be a 15/16. You want to rotate the engine backwards or forwards and get the pressure off the fuel pump spring, so you can just slide the old one out and put the new one on. Once again, another situation's developed. So here's what we got going on here. The new pump came with hardware, but it's a 9/16 hex head. This is a 1/2 inch. So now we got a hole here, mounting hole in the fuel pump, right? Okay, no problem. Bolts go in, but now there might be an alignment issue because look, you got this slop. See? Sloppy in the hole there, right? Real quick. So now I got to make a sleeve. Luckily I have a lathe. For God's sakes, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have one. I don't know what the solution to this. So the only solution, one of the solutions would be that if you're going to go to this upgrade performance fuel pump, it has NPT inlet and outlet fittings anyway. You could drill and tap into the timing chain cover and, you know, convert from a 3/8 shank to, I guess this is going to be a 1/2 inch shank and a coarse thread, and you wouldn't have to, then you'd be able to screw that in and be good to go. But now, I mean, the engine's all assembled, you have to take it all apart and take the timing chain cover off to do all that junk, and that's something I don't want to do. So my instant solution here, and I may go ahead and do that later on, the only thing my only recourse is to make a sleeve out of this aluminum stock. Just basically put this in the lathe and drill a hole in. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. So there you go. That's what we're doing next. Yippee-ki-yay. I was somewhere, like I said, years ago, and around a trash bin, these items were laying on the ground. So I picked up about 10 of them or a dozen of them. I have no clue what these are for, what they'd be used as a part for what kind of machine, but I picked them up anyway, thinking I might need them one day, and well, guess what? I needed them. So, just as a test, this is the bolts that were used to hold on the old fuel pump. Hoping I'd mill this down and make a sleeve out of it. I went with the bolt. Dead on perfect. That was going to save me loads of work. So, chucked it up in the lathe and knocked these guys out right here. They in turn go in the mounting holes of the fuel pump, which the bolts now that were originally mounted into the car, chain, cover, all this and that go into, and now you can see them in there. I'm pretty sure that took a little bit of doing. So now there is next to no wiggle, and not only is there next to no wiggle, seeing as how these were meant to be 13/32, and these were meant to be the original, the provided bolts that goes with it. Put these in, and look what you get. Right? Too much play for me. Edelbrock, if you're out, if somebody that's working for Edelbrock sees this video, you guys need some you need some close in on your tolerance. Your hole drilling. So that is it for now. I have a box of NTP fittings. Hopefully they're a conversion to a AN-6 for the fuel line. Be checking that out next. Okay, I got the fuel pump installed, and I got some fittings put on it, and I'm about to fabricate a fuel line that goes from here to here, and it's going to be a loop. I measured it out. It's about 12 inches. I'm confident that this is going to work out. It's the only way it can, because anything else, this space right here, I was thinking about is the where the steering box is going to go. So this is actually the only kind of fitting I can use right here that I can determine. I got another one that's straight. Where's it at? It would be like this, but that just like points right at it, and there'd be like no way to turn the fuel line. So this is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to fabricate this fuel line and see how it works out. So I got the connection made, and I actually had to temporarily mount the steering box here, just so I can see how I'm gonna like loop this or whatever. This is what I came up with. I don't think it's gonna chafe anywhere or anything like that. I've got some heat barrier shield I think I'm gonna put on this too, just to do it. Nobody's gonna see it anyway, so just to help protect this stuff right here from chafing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, vibration, abrasion, all that kind of stuff. So I have to get to doing this top part up here. This is the out that's gonna head up, and so I just got fitting delivered for it, so that's going to be the next thing I get at. And we're going to take this fitting off, and I'll show you the 45-degree piece I had to order and get in to make this work. So originally I was hoping this is the hose end that would screw onto that 90-degree on the outside of the fuel pump, and I was hoping, yeah, just go with that and we're good. But not working on the car for a long time, just looking at the confined spaces and how this thing's going to run, I needed a 45-degree to angle to maneuver the hose in between the fuel pump, not the fuel pump, but the alternator and power steering pump cavity down in here. You can see it's a narrow passageway, but it's plenty of room for the hose. And so I had to order this and wait a day or two to get it. So I got it now. And so I'm going to try and get this hose fabbed up before I run out of time for today. So I'm just going to get to that, and we'll see how this runs when I get it finished. Okay, I got the hose made. I think I'm satisfied with the length. It's going to come from down at the fuel pump, right? And I got a clamp here, and I'm going to make a bracket or a brace or an extension coming off of this stud right here for the water neck, and this will hold this in place and keep it from flopping it around. And this is a pretty good curve I'm happy with. And then after doing that, make the clamp for this fuel filter right here. Get that done, and it'll be a done deal. And then I can start on something else, like exhaust. So there you have it, concluding another installment here on the resurrection of this car. I got the complete fuel, pretty much system tied up, gas tank all the way to the front. So just making those braces and brackets to hold the fuel line in place will be the final touch on it all. And after that, you know, it's the next 100 things that need to be done. So thanks for tuning in if you have, and sticking around here to the end. It's greatly appreciated. Please like and subscribe and share. And occasionally I'll make a notification on Facebook. Be cool.